Welcome to this session, everyone. For this session, we will be focusing on the Snell's law. So this is the situation. A light is traveling from air and it hit your crown glass with an index of refraction 1.523, having an angle of incidence of 35 degrees. After that, it hit your water with an index of refraction 1.33. It hit your fused quartz with an index of refraction 1.46. It hit the water again, hit the crown glass again, and then exit through the air. So the very first thing that we are going to do is to track down its path. So let us try to list down its path. First, light is traveling from air to crown glass. Therefore, air, we have here the n sub 1. That means that is the index of refraction of the first medium. Next, n sub 2 will be our crown glass. That means it is the index of refraction of the second medium. After that, light is from crown glass to water. So our crown glass is still n sub 2. Our water now will become n sub 3. Next, light is traveling from water to quartz. So water is still n sub 3. And then our quartz will be now n sub 4. Then, the light is now traveling from quartz to water. Therefore, our quartz is still n sub 4. Our water will now be n sub 5. After that, n sub 5, still our water. Then our crown glass will be n sub 6. And then crown glass to air again. So we have n sub 6. And this will be n sub 7. I would like to emphasize that although we have different subscriptions, we have the 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on until 7, they still follow the same concept, which is this side here focuses on the incident ray, and then this side here focuses on the refracted ray. So first, let us solve for the air to crown glass, n sub 1 to n sub 2. So we always start with our formula, which is n sub 1 sine theta sub 1 is equal to n sub 2 sine theta sub 2. So we divide this side here. Let me use another color, this one. So we divide this side here by n sub 2. And then whatever we do on this side, we should also do it on the other side. So we divide this with n sub 2. N sub 2 divided by n sub 2 is simply equal to 1, so we can cancel that out. So we have now our formula, n sub 1 sine theta sub 1 over n sub 2 is equal to sine theta sub 2. Since we only need the value of the theta sub 2, we should cancel out, or we should get rid of the sign in this side. So we multiply this side by 1 over sine. We also multiply the other side by 1 over sine. Then sine divided by sine is just equal to 1, so we can cancel that out. And our formula now would be 1 over sine multiplied by n sub 1 sine theta sub 1 over n sub 2 equals theta sub 2. And then afterwards, we simply exchange the position. So instead of writing this 1, we write it this way. Theta sub 2 is equal to 1 over sine multiplied by n sub 1 sine theta sub 1 over n sub 2. And then in physics or in mathematics, 1 over x is just equal to x negative 1. 1 over y is just equal to y negative 1. Therefore, if we have 1 over sine here, this should be equal to sine raised to negative 1. So we can simply change that here. So instead of writing that formula, we have now theta sub 2 is equal to sine raised to negative 1 multiplied by n sub 1 sine theta sub 1 over n sub 2. So we are now focusing on getting the theta sub 2, which is when light is traveling from air to crown glass. So we have here sine negative 1 is equal to our n sub 1 is simply the air, which is 1.003. That is 1.003 multiplied by sine, and then our theta sub 1 is the incident angle, or the angle of incidence, which is 35 degrees. After that, divided by n sub 2, which is the crown glass, 1.523. Next, let us manipulate the formula. So, let us get the value of the sine 35 first. So that is 1.003. And then we get, in the calculator, you simply click sine and then 35, and then you hit equals. And then you write all of the figures that you can see in your calculator. So that would be equal to 0.573576436 and then degrees, and then afterwards that would be divided by 1.523. Then this figure, you multiply it by 1.003, so that would be times 1.003, and that should equal to theta sub 2 is equal to sine -1. Then the product of these two figures would be 0.575297167 degrees divided by 1.523. And then afterwards, you divide this value by this, and that should equal to, we'll write sine -1, and then you get the quotient of this figure divided by 1.523. That will give you 0.377739439 degrees. And then afterwards, in your calculator, you simply click shift sign and then you hit equals. After that, you have here the figure 22.1937242 degrees, or simply theta sub 2, that would equal you to 22.19 degrees. So this will now be the value of our theta sub 2.